Disventure Camp is an animated series created by indie studio Odd Nation Cartoons. Taking inspiration from shows like Survivor and Total Drama, it's a scripted reality show featuring various contestants as they compete in challenges, vote each other out, and try to win a grand prize of $1 million. Disventure Camp is currently on its 5th season, with the premiere episode having just recently aired. The theme of this season is Fans versus Favorites, featuring the Fans team of new contestants and the Favorites team of returnees from the past 4 seasons. And I, using my detective skills, am going to try and predict who will win and take home that grand prize. If you couldn't tell from the title or general premise of this video, it was heavily inspired by a series by YouTuber Chase Bridges, where he episodically tries to predict the winner of Total Drama. I'll be linking his original videos in the description. I highly recommend you check them out. His stuff is incredible and hilarious. My spin on this formula will be like this. I'm going to go through each new episode, analyzing it as best I can, and at the end, lock in my prediction for who I think will win the season, as well as a runner-up, and who I think will be the next person eliminated. Then, we'll all come back to the next video, see if I was right, and repeat the cycle. You can think of these videos as a combination of an episode review and a prediction series. I've seen every season of this show, and thought it would be a fun, more casual series for the channel between my more serious videos. Disventure Camp is one of those shows that I honestly don't take super seriously, enjoying it in the same way that I enjoy campy reality TV. That's why I like it so much. So if I slander your fave or something, try not to take it too seriously, okay? We're here for messy drama and campy fun, as I try and probably fail to figure out where the season is going. Oh, and to properly analyze the show, I'm gonna have to go into stuff that happened in previous seasons, so this is your blanket spoiler warning for the entire series. And with that out of the way, let's begin with the season premiere of Disventure Camp, Fans versus Favorites. We start with a little spiel by Emily, our host this season, explaining the premise before a boat arrives at the island. This is the Fans, and a few characters stand out right from the jump. One of which is Bruno, whose first words to the others are,
"As a personal assistant, this show can't throw anything at me worse than what I already deal with."
Do you guys see what I mean about this show being so campy? I love it. Anyway, Emily then introduces the favorites. To give my brief thoughts on this lineup, I think it's pretty good overall. A couple interesting picks, but I'm going to hold off my judgment on if someone deserved to return until I see what the season ends up doing with them. Good to see Benji is still immediately catching strays, though. We're apparently jumping right into an immunity challenge, which I sort of wasn't expecting. Because in the past 2 seasons, the first episode didn't have an elimination. But I guess that means I won't be making a first boot prediction. Oh well. Anyway, the challenge is paintball capture the flag. Pretty self-explanatory. Bring the flag back to your side, and you win. There's also a reward for the winners, that being a pre-built shelter. Tom, as expected, immediately takes charge in strategizing with the favorites. Team Cyan from All Stars decides to regroup as the attackers, and I'm already side-eyeing Tom because given the fact this man has been in 3 seasons now, and stars in a spin-off with 2 seasons, yeah, his ass is not seeing the merge. The favorites team is a little less organized, but at least we have this diva, Dunia, who is immediately one of my favorites amongst the newbies. She's just so pretty, and her attitude is amazing. Anyway, Ernesto brings up that they need a leader, with Bruno info-dumping about how Tom approached this challenge in Season 1, and saying that surely they wouldn't do the same thing twice. Bruno absolutely kills me because it's like he can't go 3 sentences without trauma dumping. Like,
Nice to have someone believe in me. The woman I'm a personal assistant for doesn't.
what is he doing? They decide to leave Evie to guard the flag, with Rosa Maria guarding it for the favorites. And with that, the challenge begins. Alec and Fiore want to pull one of the Season 4 players into their alliance, and decide they need power to do it. Aubrey decides to team up with Olivia because she's a Virgo. Yeah, she's one of those astrology girlies. Benji and Ali seem to bond over video games, with Benji actually being a fan of hers. They run into the duo of Bruno and Manu, who get jumped. There's a very fun interaction between Ren and Dunia as well, with Nura killing the mood. Natalia shoots Ren out of a tree, but they just squeal over it. It seems that Finn and Ara are also guarding the flag, and they all get jumped by the favorite squad. Tom ends up landing on Finn in the scuffle, and we get...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
Which, like, Finn, that's a married man. You're at a 12, and I need you to take it down to, like, a 5. The fans team manages to get the flag, and now it's a race to be the first back to the platform. Thanks to a last-minute tackle by Anastasia, the favorites team wins it. We then get a journey, which is a big thing on Survivor, but hasn't really been done in Disventure Camp before. The fans choose to send Evie and Alec, and it looks like he's going to get the opportunity to win that advantage he and Fiore said that they needed. Alec and Evie arrive, and she immediately makes a pass at him. We're at 2 fans now who have hit on the returnees, and I don't know how to feel about that. Anyway, Alec appeals to Evie's vanity by saying to get the advantage, she'd have to, ruin her clothes. So, yeah, Alec gets the advantage. It's a steal a vote, and he lies to his team that he lost it.
And look at my hair.
This line also got a laugh out of me. The whiny delivery is just great. They're setting up Rosa Maria to have something of an arc as well, because as she tries to make fire, this is the second time she's refused help from someone just in this episode. But back at the fans camp, Evie doesn't actually talk about the journey. She instead says,
Aw man, he wasn't single. Talk about a waste. Maybe he's gay. What do you think?
I'll check my gay address book.
oh my god, out-of-pocket lines like this remind me why I enjoy this show so much. Olivia and Aubrey strategize. Aubrey wanting to get Sam out because he's a water sign. Great, yeah, this character won't be annoying at all. Back in the cave, Evie continues to be a diva, and her entire team is getting fed up with it. Aubrey uses some astrology talk, and that's apparently enough to get Evie to go run in the rain. What the hell, sure. Bruno vents again to Nura and just gets made fun of by Ara and Finn, who, I'm just gonna be real, are an iconic duo. Something I feel like Disventure Camp lacked last season was true and honest villains. That season really wanted you to see everyone as at least somewhat of a good person, and I think it was worse off for it. So seeing these two be catty without any shame is just so refreshing. When it comes time to discuss the vote, Aubrey pitches Sam. Again, solely on the basis of his zodiac sign. We head to the elimination ceremony, where in a 2-10 vote, Aubrey is voted out. Which, thank God, because she was, like, really annoying, I'm sorry. But after this vote, we get 2 more important pieces of information. The first is that the Rescue Island is back from last season, meaning there will be a comeback challenge down the line. And the second...
I still don't know what I did to make you hate me, Aubrey, but if it's any consolation, they're gonna wish they believed you.
Alright. Overall, was this a good episode? Debatable. Despite everything I've said I enjoyed so far, there are definitely issues. Was the pacing too fast? Yes. Did they completely gloss over introducing the favorites and their dynamics with each other? Yes. Should this episode have just been a reward challenge so that we have more time to fix the 2 previously mentioned issues? Yes. But did I find it entertaining anyway? Also yes. So make of that what you will. Now it's prediction time. Let's start with the winner pick. The most important question we need to ask first is if we think the winner will be a fan or a favorite. And after thinking it over, my money is on a fan. I think it just makes the most sense. In terms of the favorites, I think the season is more to flesh a few of them out a bit more and give them new arcs and stories that they didn't have in their original season. Looking at this lineup, I don't see that story being a winner's arc for any of these people. I'm not saying it's impossible. If written well, I think a few of them could actually make very good winners. I'm just saying I think having a new character establish themselves and having that be their arc makes a bit more sense than giving it to these pre-established characters who already have a lot to work with. So, if we assume the winner is a fan, we need to then ask what type of winner the season would have. And I think I at least have a guess. See, Disventure Camp is yet to have what I would call a truly strategic winner. Not to say past winners haven't ever played with strategy, but someone whose strategy was the defining factor in their gameplay. Rhea is probably the closest, but that whole thing was just a mess, so I don't think that counts. We almost had that last season with Jade, but then that evil, evil ginger who shall not be named stole that away from us, so here we are. My point is, I think having a truly game-savvy player win would be perfect for this season. The whole theme in all of the promotional material is whether knowledge of the game or experience playing it is more valuable. I think a fan is going to win because they came in with the knowledge and gained the experience over the course of the season. So, all this to say, which fan do I actually think is going to win? There's not much to actually go off of yet, but I think the seeds have been planted for one person, and that's Dunia. She's clearly a very social person. She gets along with everyone she's interacted with so far, so I could easily see her joining or creating a majority alliance. But the main reason that she stood out to me was this. There's clearly something more to that symbol. My guess is it's a clue to an idol or advantage, and she's going to investigate it in a future episode. It's possible that this is meant to show us that she's also clever, strategic enough to notice something like that, and figure out what it means. Again, this is literally episode 1. For all I know, she could be the next boot, but based on what we have, I'm willing to lock in Dunia for my pick to win Disventure Camp 5. Next, let's look at the runner-up. The season is literally called Fans vs. Favorites, so I'm willing to bet good money that the finale will be one fan and one favorite. So, if I've already picked my fan, then the runner-up should be a favorite. But who? Okay, I need you guys to hear me out on this one, but I actually really hope it's Benji. Just let me explain, I beg. When Season 4 was airing, around mid-season, I actually unironically had him as one of my winner picks. Sure, he started out the season as an absolute joke, but then he was one of the only people to catch on to a strategy that Jade was pulling. And I was kind of convinced that he was going to have the most incredible comeback arc of all time, being the only one really onto her and trying to convince the others to no avail, because who would believe Benji? But in the end, he would overcome his game flaws, get better at it, and eventually take home the million. I was wrong, obviously. He got 12th, which is the worst placement out of any of the returning players. But isn't that what would make it such a cool comeback story if he went from that to the best placing of the favorites? Because Benji is a law student. He's clearly not stupid, and given how he was last season, I don't think many people will see him as a threat, allowing him to fly under the radar for a while. I think if he really locks in, maybe, just maybe, he has what it takes to go all the way. I'm probably being absolutely delusional, but hey, that's what makes this fun, right? And finally, let's talk about who I think will be eliminated in the next episode. You cannot convince me that Tom is long for this world. The game. I mean the game. Oh my god, could you imagine if they killed him? That would be so genuinely the funniest thing they could do. Down with the Yowie. Tom Jake Season 3 funeral arc. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry, yeah, no, Tom is cooked. However, he is not actually my pick for the next boot. If the favorites lose, then yeah, he's probably gone. The others decide to break up that tight and visible Cyan alliance. But honestly, I think his popularity will carry him one more episode, and the fans will lose again next time. And on the fans, the character I think is going next is Evie. She's useless in challenges, she didn't say what happened on the journey, and everyone on her team kind of finds her annoying. My prediction is that they'll lose the challenge, realize how Evie isn't contributing to the team, and vote her off so they can actually start winning. And after that happens, count your days, Thomas Reed. So, to lock in my predictions, this is what we have going into episode 2 of Disventure Camp, Fans vs. Favorites. And that's going to wrap up this video. This is definitely going to be a more casual, less serious series sprinkled between my other content. If you do want to check out my other content, it mostly focuses on mystery games and visual novels. I'm definitely experimenting here, but hey, it was fun, and I hope you had fun watching too. I'd like to take a moment to shout out my channel members. At the Star Detective tier, Orange Tiers 1. At the Star Investigator tier, Vocaloid Evil, Zapier Ranger 20, Mikey Mike SH. At the Star Sleuth tier, Mad Dinosaur, I, Zol, X, Archangel, 5481, and MTO2089. Thanks again for all your support. It really does mean a lot to me. I'd like to thank everyone very much for watching until the end of the video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all next time.